When my 7-year-old whispered, "Mommy's friend has a key," I realized the custody fight I thought was over had just begun. I had just picked her up from soccer practice. She was sweaty, happy, talking about a goal she almost scored. Then she said it like it was nothing. "He doesn't knock anymore. He just unlocks the door." My ex-wife had primary custody. I got alternating weekends and one midweek dinner. It took 2 years and more than $50,000 in legal fees to get that arrangement. In court, I was labeled unstable, too driven, too focused on work. She told the judge I traveled too much, brought up an old speeding ticket, even mentioned that I once forgot to send our daughter to school with matching socks. And the judge believed her concerns. One clause in the final order was crystal clear. No unrelated overnight guests while our daughter was present. That restriction existed because my ex argued I couldn't provide a stable environment if I started dating. At the time, I wasn't even seeing anyone. I kept my voice steady in the car. "What do you mean he has a key? He opens the door when mommy's not home yet. He waits with me," she said, kicking her cleats against the seat. "How often?" "A lot." That word stuck with me the entire drive home. "What's his name?" "Tyler. He makes grilled cheese, but he sits in mommy's chair." Mommy's chair. The recliner no one else used when we were married. "How long has Tyler been coming over?" She counted on her fingers. "Since summer started. 3 months. 3 months of a man with a house key. 3 months of access. 3 months I knew nothing about." "Does he stay the night?" I asked carefully. She hesitated. "Sometimes. When mommy says it's easier." "Easier. Does he ever make you uncomfortable?" She shrugged. "He says not to tell you stuff because you get mad." That wasn't casual. That was coaching. When we got to my house, I walked into the kitchen under the excuse of getting her a snack. I gripped the counter until my hands stopped shaking. In court, my ex had cried while describing my poor judgment. Her attorney used the phrase revolving door relationships. They argued I couldn't introduce instability into our daughter's life. Now, there was a man with a key and a toothbrush at their house. The next morning, while we made pancakes, I asked lightly, "Was Tyler there last night?" She nodded. "He leaves early when it's your weekend. Before I pick you up?" "Yes." "Calculated timing." "Does he have his own toothbrush?" "Yes." "Blue. Permanent, not temporary." I texted my ex that afternoon. "Does Tyler have a key to the house?" Her reply came fast. "Don't start. He's just a friend. Friends don't keep toothbrushes. Friends don't leave before custody exchanges." That Sunday evening at drop-off, his truck was in the driveway. Same truck that had been there Friday. The door opened. He stood behind her, comfortable, like he belonged there. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't give her what she wanted. I went home and documented everything. Dates, statements, vehicle sightings, screenshots of texts. Monday morning, my attorney filed a motion for modification based on violation of the overnight clause and third-party access. 2 weeks later, we were back in front of the same judge who once questioned my stability. My attorney presented the custody order, presented the clause, presented the timeline, presented my daughter's consistent statements, without coaching, without exaggeration. The judge looked at my ex and asked one direct question. "Does he possess a key?" Silence. That silence mattered more than any emotional argument. Custody wasn't flipped overnight. Courts moved carefully, but the order was amended. The no overnight rule was reinforced with strict enforcement language. Any violation would trigger immediate review. For the first time, the standard applied to both of us. That night, when I tucked my daughter into bed at my house, she looked up at me. "Is he still going to be there?" "That's for adults to figure out," I said. "Your job is just to tell the truth." She nodded. "Daddy?" "Yeah? If you ever get a friend, can she sit in your chair?" I smiled slightly. "No one sits in my chair unless they respect the house." She grinned and pulled the blanket up to her chin. And for the first time since the divorce, I didn't feel like I was defending myself. I felt prepared.